We live in a world where strength is often mistaken for dominance, where vulnerability is misunderstood as weakness, and where the pursuit of genuine connection is lost beneath the weight of expectations. But what if the real power lies not in imposing your will, but in the quiet strength that comes with truly understanding yourself and those around you? Let me take you on a journey, one that dives beneath the surface of masculinity, intimacy, and connection. A journey where we dismantle the illusion of perfection and uncover the deeper truths that make us who we are. Masculinity, strength and self-awareness, not control. In a world obsessed with power and control, we've forgotten one of the truest forms of masculinity: the power of self-awareness. Real strength doesn't come from dominating others or proving yourself constantly. It comes from knowing who you are, understanding your limits, and operating with a sense of inner clarity. A stoic man, grounded in virtue, understands that true power is in his ability to choose his response, not in his ability to force an outcome. His masculinity is not about conquering the world, but about mastering himself, his desires, his fears, and his actions. And it is through this mastery that he becomes an anchor for those he loves. In this space of self-awareness, a man no longer seeks validation from the world. Instead, he cultivates peace within. This is the mark of true masculinity: strength forged in the fire of introspection, not in the noise of external demands. The strength of vulnerability, the courage to let down your guard. Now let us address the paradox that so many men grapple with: vulnerability. For too long, society has taught us that to be vulnerable is to be weak. It's a lie, one that has stripped us of the very tool we need to forge deep, meaningful connections. Vulnerability is not about shedding strength, it is about surrendering control. It is the ability to let your guard down and allow someone to see you for who you truly are, flaws, scars, and all. It is the willingness to be seen, to be open, and to trust that this openness will not be used against you, but rather will strengthen the bond you share. True masculinity doesn't shy away from vulnerability. It embraces it. It stands firm in the knowledge that by sharing your rawest self, you are not losing power, but expanding it. Because in those moments of openness, when you allow another person to see the truth of who you are, that is where connection thrives. Beyond the physical, the real power of emotional connection, intimacy is often reduced to a physical act, but the greatest form of intimacy is emotional. True connection isn't about what you do with your body, it's about what you share with your soul. A man who seeks emotional intimacy doesn't rush to fulfill his own needs. He listens, he observes, and he seeks to understand. His every action is a reflection of his desire to know her, beyond the surface, beyond the body. He recognizes that the most powerful connection lies in the quiet moments of understanding, the shared vulnerability, the eye contact that speaks louder than words ever could. In these moments, there is no room for ego. There is no space for performing or checking boxes. There is only the raw, honest exchange between two souls, recognizing each other's humanity and embracing it. The dance between strength and submission, the power of presence. One of the most misunderstood aspects of masculinity is the interplay between strength and submission. In many relationships, there is this unspoken belief that the man must always lead, always be the one in control. But what if submission, in the truest sense, is actually the highest form of power? Submission here doesn't mean weakness. It means surrendering to the moment, to the trust you've cultivated, to the connection you've built. It's about knowing when to lead and when to follow, and recognizing that sometimes the greatest strength is in giving up control. A stoic man knows when to assert his power, but he also knows when to step back and let his partner take the reins. He understands that this dynamic is not a battle, but a dance, one that requires both strength and vulnerability, each supporting the other in perfect harmony. Breaking free from insecurity, the power of presence, not perfection. Let's talk about insecurity, something that weighs heavily on many men. In the realm of relationships, this often manifests as fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of not measuring up to the expectations we think others have of us. But here's the truth. Insecurity is the enemy of connection. Perfection is a lie. What we crave is authenticity. What we need is presence. When a man can stand in the moment, free from the shackles of self-doubt, he brings with him something far more valuable than technique or appearance. He brings himself. When you stop trying to be perfect and instead allow yourself to be present, fully, authentically, and without reservation, that is when real transformation occurs. Not just for you, but for your relationship as well. Destroying the taboos, breaking the chains of judgment. We live in a society where judgment and shame still have a powerful grip on how men behave, especially in intimate moments. Oral sex, for example, remains one of the most stigmatized acts. But real intimacy doesn't care about taboos. It doesn't concern itself with outdated notions of dominance and submission. Intimacy, in its truest form, is about acceptance. It is about shedding the chains of judgment and embracing the entirety of your partner, physically, emotionally, and mentally. When a man can approach his partner with this kind of openness, it changes everything. This isn't just a personal victory. It's a message to your partner, telling them that they too are worthy of being seen in their entirety. And when you break free from judgment, you free both yourself and the relationship to evolve in ways that are deeper and more meaningful. The quiet strength of silent confidence, presence over performance. There is a quiet power that radiates from a man who does not need to speak loudly, who does not need to prove his worth. Silent confidence is magnetic. It's the confidence that doesn't require validation, that doesn't need to be seen or recognized by anyone else. This is the kind of strength that comes from knowing who you are, fully and completely. You don't need to perform. You simply need to be present. And in this presence, there is power. It is the confidence that comes from embracing your flaws, from accepting your humanity, and from offering yourself, your heart, your soul, your mind, to the people who matter most to you. Final thoughts. The true mark of a man. The true mark of a man is not found in how much he conquers, how much he controls, or how many battles he wins. It is found in his ability to show up, authentically, vulnerably, and with intention. It is found in his capacity for deep emotional connection, in his strength to face his own fears, and in his willingness to evolve. If you are ready to break free from the chains of insecurity, ego, and outdated expectations, if you are ready to redefine what it means to be a man, then it's time to embrace the quiet strength of your true self. Remember, masculinity is not about dominance, but about mastery, and mastery begins from within. Think about whether this channel is worthy of getting your love and support. If it is, don't hesitate. We will meet in the next video. Until then, keep evolving.